So we are now on the last part of techniques of integration. If you remember, what we did was to discuss the following. We discussed integration by parts, the part 1, no? And then part 2A. Then we are now on part 2B, which is integration of rational functions by partial fractions. And later on, we're going to discuss your improper integrals with infinite limits of integration. We still have time, then we'll try to discuss the other topic, which was I asked you to read earlier, okay? Which is on part, I think it's part D. Yes, part D, D of part 2. No? Part 2 of D. Sorry, it's part of D. So for integration of rational functions by partial fraction, we have actually, okay, you have two cases here. Cases 1 and 2, for the first two cases, the denominator has only linear factors. Okay? We are familiar with integrating simple fraction such that when you divide it, if it's an improper fraction, you can actually divide it by, kunyari ito, x squared minus 10x squared plus 3x plus 1, you can divide it by x squared minus 4. But what happens if the result here has an exponent which is greater than the exponent in your numerator? So this one requires now a method which is called your integration of rational function by partial fraction. So this part. This one you can integrate, but this one, not integrate that one immediately. So we are going to make use of this. Now, the first case, if you notice, it says has only linear factors. If you take a look, this is not linear. But then, you can actually rewrite your x squared minus 4 into linear factors. So if you can do that, then it would belong to this case, has only linear factors. And let's see. And so if you wish to integrate x to the 4th minus 10x squared plus 3x plus 1 over x squared minus 4, and we were able to reduce to integrating this x squared minus 6 dx. Kasi when you divide this by x squared minus 4, you come up with x squared minus 6 dx plus 3x minus 23 over x squared minus 4. So ito na lang problema natin kung paano siya i-integrate. Ito, you know how to integrate this, di ba? So in general form, you will actually have this type. P of x over q of x, where the degree of p of x, so the degree of p of x here is less than the degree of q of x, so less than this degree. If you take a look, 3x minus 3, this is x squared minus 4. So to do this, it is necessary that you have to rewrite p of x over q of x as the sum of partial fractions. Now, we have the following. So, I hope you had read this one. Diretso na ako sa solution, ha? So, the first case, say you have the factors of q of x are all linear and none is repeated. First case, all linear, none is repeated. As I've said earlier, katong x squared minus 4 can actually be factored so that you will have linear factors. So, when you're going to solve for that one, see this, you will have, ito, we want to evaluate the integral of x minus 1 dx all over x cubed minus x squared minus 2x. So what would be the factors of x cubed minus x squared minus 2x? The factors would be x times x minus 2, x plus 1. So notice na, di ba, exponent ng nasa baba is bigger than the exponent here. This one has an exponent 1. This has an exponent 3. But you can factor this into linear factors such as x times x minus 2 times x plus 1. So what is necessary here? It is necessary that you know how to factor. Okay, so that's the first thing that you have to be very careful of. Because once your factors are wrong, immediately mali na lahat yung solution ninyo. So we write x minus 1 over this one as the factors x times x minus 2 times x plus 1, which is equivalent to a over x plus b over x minus 2. So you write it down, write down the big letters here under each of with one factor each. So a over x plus b over x minus 2, the other factor, plus, okay, you have c over x plus 1. Equation 2 is an identity for all except what happens? It is not true when x equal to 0. Why? When x equal to 0, this will become undefined. Also, it will not be an identity if x is equal to 2 because again, this will be undefined. And down the line, no, negative 1 cannot be a value for x. So this will be true except for these values. Now, what are we going to do? Next would be you take the LCD, least common denominator. So if we're going to take the LCD as you can observe is that our LCD at this point will now be x times x minus 2, x plus 1 times x plus 1. So when you multiply both sides here by x times x minus 2, x plus 1, what will happen? Mag-cancel out ng x minus 2, x plus 1, x sa isang side, and you will be left with a over x. This one, x also cancels out with x. Sulat ko na lang dito para makita ninyo. Can multiply this by the LCD, which is x times x minus 2 times x plus 1. And when you do that, ito, makancel with x. X minus 2, makancel with x. So, x plus 1, makancel with x. So, ito na lang maiwan sa kabila, no? On the other hand, from here, x over x, makancel lang x o x ang mabilin kay kaning multiplier x minus 2 and x plus 1. That's why you have this. Then from here, b, x minus 2, and multiply with this one, what will happen? Makancel ng x minus 2, saka x minus 2, may 1 is b, x times x plus 1, which is this. When you multiply this one, last one here, c, makancel ng x plus 1, and x plus 1, ang may 1 is cx, x minus 2. So you have this. Okay. Now what happens? Because this one is already a value which has no denominator, then this will be true for values x equal to 0, 2, and negative 1. And because of that, you can actually simplify. Okay? So the identity is now true for all values of x, including na ngayon ang 0 to negative 1. So you can now solve for the values of a, b, and c. And how do we do that? Balikan natin yung kanina. You have here x minus 1 is equivalent to ax minus 2, x plus 1, bx plus 1, cx minus 2. So when we consider, dito lang ako mag-solve para makita natin. When, di ba, pwede na siya sa x equal to 0. So when x equal to 0, what happens to equation 3? Equation 3 becomes, okay, you have 0 minus 1 equals, this is 0. So x, a times 0 minus 2 times 0 plus 1. But bx, so b times 0 is 0. Cx, c times 0 is 0. So yan lang maiwan. So you now have 0 minus 1 equals, so that becomes negative 1. Okay. Negative 1 equals a 0 negative times negative 0 minus 2. Negative 2a. And what is this? 0 plus 1. That is 1. So negative 2a na lang. That means to say that your a is equal to positive 1/2. Solve ng a. Now what happens when, kasi pwede naman na pag ganito, pwede na ang x equal to 2. When x is equal to 2, when x equals 2, equation 3 becomes, this time, when x equal to 2. This equation, here, you have 2 minus 1. Are you with me? Nasusundan pa ninyo?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So, 2 minus 1, you will have 2, oops, sorry. Ang ballpen kasi. We'll have 2 minus 1 equals, you will have A, and then 2 minus 2 man. So, ma-0 na po ni. Ma-2 minus 2, ma-0 na po. Correct? So, 0 na siya. Kani, bx plus 1. So, what will happen here? B times 2. So, yan siya. B, oops. My ballpen is going crazy. Times 2 plus 1. What will happen here? 2 minus 2. So, ma-0 na po ni. So, kanina lang mabilin. You will now have B2, 2 plus 1, that's 3. Times 2, 6. So, we'll have 6B. 2 minus 1, that is 1. Meaning to say, your B now equals 1 over 6. B is 1 over 6. Okay. Isa na lang. What happens when, ito ko na lang din isulat ha, when x equals negative 1. So, equation 3 becomes, so x equals negative 1. This one will be, asa naman 0? Ito, negative 1 plus 1. This will be 0. Ito, negative 1 plus 1. That will also be 0. So, maiwan ito na lang. And that. So, you will now have negative 1 minus 1 equals C times your x is negative 1 times 1 minus 2. So, negative 1 minus 2. Negative 1 minus 2. And that should give us C, negative 1 minus 1 minus 2 is negative 3 times negative 1 positive 3. So, you have 3C, you have negative 2. So, your C now equals negative 2 over 3. Okay? So, you already are able to compute your A, B, and C, which is this. Here. Nari-write niyo ang x minus 1 over x times x minus 2, x minus 1 over x times x minus 2 times x plus 1, wherein your A is 1/2, B is 1/6, and C is equal to negative 2/3. So, yun yung values. And your quantity that you are supposed to integrate is A over X. You have A over X plus B over X minus 2 plus C over X plus 1. So that you now have the following. So, correct yung value natin. Yung value natin is, you have A is equal to 1/2, B is equal to 1/6, and C is equal to negative 2/3. There is another method of finding values of A, B, and C, and that is you have to make use of your algebra part, which is gagawin yung, pero mas mahaba ang solution. Okay, what are you going to do? Combine siya, A, x squared plus minus AB minus 2C, x minus 2A. Kunin gihapon ng LCD. Then after that, you have to consider, kanyari x dito. So, wala siyang x squared. So, 0 ang A plus B plus C is 0. And then, you have x here. So, ang minus A plus B minus 2C is equal to 1. Kasi then, this one, minus 2A is equal to negative 1. So, pareho pa rin, pero mas mahaba yung solution. Okay, ito. So that, you now have your quantity A plus B plus C equal to 0, yung sinabi ko kanina. Then, minus A plus minus 2C equals 1, negative 2A equals negative 1. Then, what you're going to do is to make use of your algebra, that is your 3 unknowns man yan. So, you can make use of elimination and substitution to solve for the value of A, B, and C. So, mas madali yung kanina ginawa natin solution. But you can do that. Substituting these values in 2, we now get the following. X minus 1 over x times x minus 2x plus 1 equals, this is our A, right? 1/2 over x plus, this is our B, which is 1/6 over x minus 2, plus negative 2/3, this is our C over x plus 1. And kani siya pwede na ni ma-integrate. So when you integrate that, you can integrate both sides and now come up with the integral of 1/2 x plus dx plus the integral of 1/6 dx over x minus 2 plus the integral of negative 2/3 dx 1 over negative 2/3 1 over x plus 1 dx. Diba? Pa-integrate nyo yan, ganito. Yan. Integrate natin yan. dx. Then integrate yan. Oops. Integrate yung entire thing. Ay, pangit. So, you will now have, sige na lang. You will have integral of 1/2 dx over x plus 1/6 integral of dx over x minus 2 minus 2/3 integral of dx over x plus 1. But remember, pag ganito yung formula, so that becomes 1/2 ln of x plus, diba, ano to? X minus 2 man ang yun ninyo dito. Tapos, ang derivative ng x minus 2 is dx lang man. So, 1/6 integral of, not integral, ln of x minus 2 minus, again, what's the derivative of x plus 1? This is du. Baka nalimutan nyo na, integral of u du over u equals ln of u plus c. Okay? Can recall that one. Then, ang galing yung ginagawa ko. So, minus 2/3 integral of du over u is ln now of x plus 1 plus, the entire thing is simply at plus c. So, that's your answer there. Ito. 1/2 ln of x plus 1/6 ln of x minus 2 minus 2/3 ln of x plus 1 plus 1/6 ln of c. Saan ang galing? Kasi yung is ito dito, hanggang dito, yan. That is supposed to be the answer for yung sa tatlo. Yung 1/6 ln of c was because of the fact that constant lang naman ito, no? So you can just write down the 1/6. Kaning 1/6, but okay lang na siya. Wala na yung problema sa 1/6. Pwede lang siya gihapon na kaning 1/6 ln of c is supposed to be your constant, ln of constant. So okay lang yun siya. Walang problema na may 1/6 ln of c. This is just your constant. Okay? So 1/6 ln of, para mapasok lang sa isa, you can end up your answer actually on the answer that we have earlier. But if you want it simplified, this is the simplified form. That is 1/6 ln of cx cubed. Why do you have cx cubed there? Ito yung c ninyo, na? Then, x minus 2, kasi plus yan. So, kaning x, then 3 yan. Ang 3 ln of x is actually your ln of x cubed. Okay? But, because you put your ln here outside, then you can have c, which is for your c, x cubed, x minus 2, which is this. So, pag addition, di ba? It's multiplication sa ln. And then minus, so pag minus 4, ln of x plus 1, you have your 4 there is the exponent here. That's what that was even in here. Okay? So, this one is the simplified form, but the other one is acceptable already as an answer. Okay? Let's go to case 2. The case 2 would be, are you still with me?
Yes,
Hello?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Time, the factors are all linear, but some are repeated. So you have factors which are linear, but some are repeated. If you take a look at this, x squared x1 is 2 cubed. Notice that, ala, hindi naman siya linear. Okay, x squared man eh. But, you can rewrite your x squared as x times x. So, linear siya, repeated lang. Then, x minus 2 cubed can be rewritten as x minus 2 times x minus 2 times x minus 2. Tatlong x minus 2. Okay, x minus 2 cubed. So, linear pa rin, pero repeated. And how do we do that? You will have the following. The first value, if pag x squared siya, diba? So how do you solve the partial, how do you write the sum of partial fractions? The sum of partial fractions will now be, if this is x squared, you have to write down a x squared b over x. Pag x cubed siya, ang mangyari is, you will have a x cubed plus b x squared plus c over x. So, descending yung order niya, but you should account for what is the highest and then down the line. Okay? Then, x minus 2 cubed. So, you will... Okay, so let's continue for a while, ha?
Yes,
Keep your annotation. Ako lang keep yung annotation.